What's up, fight fans? And we are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. Where do all fights start? Round one. How you guys doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I hope you're having a blessed day. I hope that everything turns out good for you in today. uh, so let's get this show started. Well, we have a lot of interesting boxing coming up, and I just came off an interview with the one and only Subriel Matias, and I try to get a lot of the questions that I wanted to out, but in such a short time because Subriel is obviously training right now and he took some time out of his day. We were given 30-35 minutes to conduct the interview, and I hope that I got a few things clarified between, what it's like in the relationship with Ed Hearn and the boxing promoters, and to clarify a lot of the rumors, and where he's headed in his next fight. His next fight is going to be Roberto Ramirez. He comes to us with a record of 26 fights, 19 knockouts, and 3 losses. In the 3 losses, he was knocked out and stopped twice, right? He has experience. He has experience. He's a Mexican fighter. They're always tough. He's 31 years of age. He's 6 feet tall. He has a 69-inch arm reach. He's taller than Subriel Matias, and he's coming into the fight with a 73 knockout percent ratio. Now, he's been around the block. He's been around the block. He's fought, a couple tough fights, uh, Roberto, and this is a really good fight for Subriel. Seeing that the fact that, uh you're not gonna get a lot of the guys in with him right now. Roberto is one of the guys that went up against William Cepeda. He lost that fight to Cepeda, but it was a good fight. Cepeda stopped him, I believe, in the 5th round. You know, um, it was competitive until it lasted. I could say that much. But with every fight that you have, Roberto right now, he's coming off a 3 fight knockout streak. In fact, his last 3 opponents, he knocked all 3 of them out coming into the Subriel Matias fight. So, this guy's not there just to be pushed over. Roberto, he's going into this fight thinking Subriel Matias is coming off of a loss. Maybe his confidence is a little shaken. Maybe this is my night. This is my opportunity. If I can knock off Subriel Matias, the alleged boogeyman of the 140-pound weight division, well, then he feels like, he can one up right now. And Subriel Matias right now is looking for an impressive win, after losing his belt to Liam Paro in Puerto Rico, in which, in fact, Liam Paro is going back to Puerto Rico to San Juan to fight Richard Hitchinson. Um, and on that card anyway, there's going to be a lot of amazing fights. It's going to be like Puerto Ricans, there's going to be some Mexican fights there, big time. The other night, Puerto Rico basically went up against Mexico and we swept them. Let's just not, forget about that. Those were young prospects coming up and everything, but Puerto Rico did sweep the night, and Mexico's looking for some get back. You better believe it, because between Mexico and Puerto Rico in boxing, woo, we got one of the best rivalries in all of boxing, to stake the claim of the best Latin fighters, you see, And I'm glad that my little island can compete, against a lot of the top, Latin countries and stuff, because Puerto Rico holds its own. We hold our own for our champions. We really do. And you know, in the interview, I invite you to go check out the interview with Subriel. Let me put up your chats because let me see who's in the chat right now. I don't even got them up. You guys are in the building. How you guys doing? What's up, Frontline? What's up, Bam Bam? How you doing? Salute, Armando. Hey, yo, Armando, I went back and checked out the video and shit. I do speak better Spanglish than Mill City. You know what I'm saying? I hold my own. Mill ain't got nothing on me. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, brother, how you doing? Great interview. Thank you, man. Thank you. Yo, Pro Box tonight with Chris Colbert. Yeah, Bam. Put that out there. I heard that Chris Colbert came in at 136 to fight this fight. I thought this fight was going to be at 130 when he made that interview when he was, I believe, on Pro Box. And he said the first punch that Jose Valenzuela hit him with, he knew right there he had to go down. He had to go down in weight. So I was under the impression that, yes, he was going to go down in weight because he publicly said it. Now I'm hearing that he weighed in at 136. That's higher than 135. So I was like, what, he missed the weight at 135? Is this a catch weight? I got to look more into the Chris Colbert fight, but that's tonight on Pro Box. So, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, baby. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I bet y'all didn't think I can slang the lingo like that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, your boy El hablo un poquito. You know what I'm saying? Donde está la biblioteca? What, bro? You know what I'm saying? Yo, Mill City is that real motherfucking tango los gatos en los pantalones type motherfucker. You know what I mean? That's Mill. Hey, yo, we kick it around here. You know what I'm saying? Yo, that was funny. That was too funny, man. That was hilarious. I went back and I saw it. I saw it on the time, but I was so focused in the interview. I was trying to stay, you know what I mean? The cause, right? But Subriel answered, a few questions, and I was honest with him. I was like, look, bro, I don't think none of the top guys is going to fight you, brother. Not right away. Your only future right now is to stay in the IBF ranking. Is to stay the course on the IBF because the IBF, and Subriel himself said, I'm not putting down any organization. He said, but the IBF is a no bullshit organization. And if I win the fights I need to, just like I said, él va a estar tocando la puerta ahí mismo, pa, and Subriel knows and sees where his destiny lies. So rather than trying to chase the other champions that are obviously not going to fight him. Brothers, let me tell you something right now. For as good as a boxer I believe Teofimo Lopez is, there's nothing that no one can convince me that Teofimo Lopez would sign up and put that belt on the line to fight Subriel Matias. And even though when Teo's looking for the bag, see, this is the thing about these fighters, right? They're talking about, oh, Teo's complaining in the top rank, right? Oh, you catering to the brothers. You're not even showing me no love. Well, Teo, you're not taking the big fights. Teo, you didn't fight not even Ryan Garcia. Teo, you didn't fight Tank Davis. You fought Loma, that one guy, which was an in-house fight because he's top-ranked dude, right? But Teo never ventured out. But he's always claiming that, no one's giving him the big fights. Yo, Teo, Subriel's right there. Subriel's got a big following. You put Subriel Matias in New York City and the Puerto Rican parade, olvídate. And Teo's from New York, bro. They will sell that place out. There's your money fight. But you think that Teofimo Lopez would actually sign up for that? Because that would be a fight Teo would have to say yes to. I guarantee you Subriel would take that fight. He said, look, man, Subriel, because he's living it. We're talking about it, but Subriel is actually living in it. He's actually the boxer in a boxing life. was a former world champion. He's actually in it. And he's saying, listen, that sounds good, but Tio will never take that fight against me. My best bet is to stay the IBF way, you know? And these are these fighters that we say, oh, what is Tio always saying? I just want to fight the best fighter. I want to fight the best fighting the best. Well, then why ain't you doing it? Who's these last people you've been fighting and struggling against, Mr. Teofimo Lopez? Clagic? Like, well, come on, man. What are you talking about, Tio? Right? But this is all Subriel's fault. Why Subriel can't get these big guys in the ring with him? Devin Haney. Come on, guys. Really? Devin Haney's going to sign up to fight Subriel? And Jose Valenzuela is tied up with Isa Pitbull Cruz. Richard Hitchison is going to Puerto Rico to fight Liam Paro. So I'm like doing the math and I'm saying to myself, well, who's left? Right? You got the other Ramirez that's up there, that he's 29-1, right? That's a good fight. I asked him if he wanted or he would be interested in fighting Josh Taylor. I think Josh Taylor, being the former unified, undisputed 140-pound champion of the world, I know that Josh Taylor, a lot of boxing critics are saying that, he's lost a step or so. But, when you get two guys, styles make fights. Josh Taylor can really get in that gym and step it up and come out and give a good fight against Subriel Matias. I actually asked him about that fight. He said he would be interested in such a fight. That the Regis Progress fight is I think a distant memory. He's gonna fight Jack Catterall. Uh, um, Subriel Matias himself said he might not get past Jack Catterall, Regis Progress. And then if he's coming off of a loss and Regis is coming off a loss, why the fuck we want two guys coming off a loss fighting each other? He's like that. Nah. Yeah, Subriel wants to go up. So he's going to stay in the IBF ranking. And in the IBF ranking right now, as of right now, for the men in the IBF ranking, okay, we got Richard Hitchison, which is the number one. We knew that going into the Subriel fight with Liam Paro, he was already the number one. Okay. So the number two slot for the IBF is actually vacant. They don't have a number two. So the number three is Jack Catterall. The number four is Arnold Barboza Jr. And the number five is Subriel Matias. But if you don't got a number two and Subriel's number five, which I said in my show yesterday, that actually makes them four. Because number two spot is vacant. Till they fill it, or one of some of these guys win, Jack Catterall is going to fight against Regis Progress. If he wins, obviously he's probably going to go up to the number two and the list is going to push forward. Is what I'm assuming, So let's see, because, okay, the number two spot can also be a vacant spot for the loser out of Liam Paro and Richard Hitchison, like that, which will be fucked up, right? Because in actuality, I couldn't believe that Subriel Matias dropped all the way down to the number 6 spot in the IBF when there was a lot of champions that barely dropped down after losing their belt to the number 3 spot. They were either in number 1, 2, or 3. I found that. I was like, wow. But I was like, hey, because the IBF knows what they're doing, for the most part. I was like, okay, that's what it is. But in boxing, shit moves fast. 1, 2 fights here and there, you're back in the top. That's how I see it. Look at what y'all started now. Elwin in Spanish. Yo, listen, straight Telemundo. You know what I'm saying? Right after this, we're hitting the Spanish Latin version. You know what I mean? Yo, stop it. Stop it. Don't gas your boy up. I'm not that nice yet. You know what I'm saying? Bill was on TV talking to everyone. Yo, listen. That's the thing about Devin Haney and Bill Haney's situation. Sometimes you gotta like look at it and be like, wait a minute, your son's in hot water. You're trying to get the media off of him about this Ryan thing because every microphone they put in your face, Bill, it's about the situation and the lawsuit. So what does Bill quickly come up with? Hey, we sent Teofimo Lopez a contract. Teofimo Lopez ain't doing nothing. Shit, they might have got a phone call earlier that day around 12 and said, listen, want to start some shit? Your name is not really big right now, and my son's kind of hurting right now, and so I want to change the narrative. You know what I'm saying? At 3 o'clock, I'm gonna say I sent you a contract and you ducking my son. All right, Tio? Tio said, bet. Gotcha. Yo, and so I don't know what or when Bill Haney's what he's saying right now, how much weight does that really, hold? You know, when rumors were real that there was a fight that he could have had with Liam Paro. And those rumors were actually real, you know? So then that fell through. They walked away. Here we are. So, you know, but there was another big fight that happened that transpired, Demetrius Bivol, right? And Arthur Benevite Benevite. Yeah, I got his name is these Russian names be crazy, right? But you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. And that fight, got a lot of people talking. Look, I'm not here to change your mind on the fight. No, I'm not. Um, hold on one second. Hello? Oh shit. I'm not here to change your mind on the fight. I'm not here to like try to persuade you, on what happened or any of that. I'm just here to, share a little bit of my insight and maybe we can come to a common ground on what occurred in this fight between Demetrius Bivol and Arthur, right? And I feel like I watched the fight again and I watched it again, right? And I feel like there was a lot of swing rounds in the beginning first half of the fight between rounds 1 and 4. There were a few swing rounds. Then it was apparent, right? Like, well, actually, Demetrius Bibble won round 4, I believe. He won round 4. It was like round 5, 6, 7. 7, he did a lot of good work. 8, Demetrius Bibble was doing some good work. And then he got caught with a good shot. Ninth, it started to like a little bit slip away from him. He started fighting better in the ninth, but Arthur closed better. The 10th, 11th, and 12th is where I think that the fight was decided. The championship rounds. And a lot of people will argue championship rounds. They'll go, oh, just because you win the last. No, that's the last impression that you're leaving on the judges. They're seeing you evade. They're watching you clinch more. They watched you in the 12th round not even throw a lot of punches. And when you got a guy, that's like that's like you know, a guy got you beat in a game, and what he does is hang all the way back in the football game or try to run out the time. And he's not hiking the ball or something, and at least giving you an opportunity to try to knock it out and fumble it or intercept it. He's taking a knee, and you ain't got no more timeouts, and it's like a minute and something left. You like, come on, let's play, and they running the clock out on you. And it kind of leaves like y'all should have played into the last, but they like, we don't care. It was in the bag, right? I believe Demetrius Bivol was getting tired, and the last image of Demetrius Bivol that I saw, he was getting his ass whooped in the 12th round, and he was looking like he was almost going to get stopped. And that was the last vision that I had of the fight. Demetrius Bivol was in survival mode. That's what the judges saw. What if one of those judges awarded him a damn 10-8 round for all those punches and all that damage he did in the 12th round. You know, it was almost it was like right there, bro. It was like right there. I can't say that I would have, but what if one of them motherfuckers? I would have liked to see the, I heard the numbers, right? But I would have liked to see every round, every how it was scored by the judges and what they were seeing, because we got to remind ourselves that yes, Demetrius Bivol could have threw 20 jabs, but that one hard punch that Arthur connected, if he got a big reaction out of Demetrius Bivol, the judges are going to award him the round until Demetrius Bivol does something better. What effect are you having on the fighter if the action is so intense that they can no longer determine, they lost track what big punch he hit him with, a big punch, he responded, he got him back, he's hitting with the jab, he's going downstairs to the body. Whoa, these guys are working. Okay, who's the aggressor? Who's going backwards? Who's going forward? And then that's how things are determined. So Bivol, man, let me throw up some of your messages here. He did. He clinched. He ran the championship rounds. He did. And I reintegrate this scenario that I presented. If you guys have ever got a chance to watch this, when Oscar De La Hoya was fighting against Felix Trinidad, bro, there's no better example I can remember in this situation. Oscar De La Hoya was winning that fight. He was winning. Listen, my whole family, we had our Puerto Rican flags, everything. Yo, we were shook. We knew what we were watching. And we were like, man, Oscar's winning his fight. We knew it. And what did Oscar do in the championship rounds? 10, 11, and 12. Yo, he ran. He ran, clinched, didn't throw any punches, and was waving to the crowd like he did enough to win the fight. He said, I can give away the last 3. He ain't going to come back. He didn't realize that a lot of those rounds in the first rounds were close fight rounds. And some judges awarded Felix a couple. Yo, Oscar, he blew it. He threw that fight away. All the good work that Oscar De La Hoya did in that fight, he couldn't close the show. That is the exact, listen, I have receipts. I was watching it live. You guys can go see my live reaction and fast forward it to the part where the fight in the 10th round. Coming into the 10th round, that's exactly what I said. I said, yo, guys, this is the championship rounds right here. These are the championship rounds. And Bivol got hurt in the 9th. And then I was like, shit. And then as the 10th, 11th went, coming into the 12th round, what was I saying? What did I say? Bivol's going to need to win this round. I said, Bivol's going to need to win the 12th round. He's got to close the show. What did he do? Fucking ran, bro. He was hurt, bro. He was this close from getting knocked out, man. That's the last impression the judges saw. They were like, shit. One more round in that fight, round 13, fight's over. I don't think Demetrius Bivol gets out of round 13. It was close like that. He had it was like right there. So I was like, man, look, I would like to see that fight again. I would like to see it again. I would like to see him run it back. So maybe they can work something out. I don't know. But we have another amazing fight scheduled. We have David the Monster Benavidez. He's gonna fight David Morrell. So that's good. And the reason why I like that fight so much, right, is because one, he's shutting David Morrell up, right? And it's a tough fight. It's supposed to be anyway. I think David the Monster Benavidez is gonna break him. I don't think David Morrell is ready for David the Monster Benavidez, and this is a good fight for acclimating to the new weight division at 175 so that he can be better prepared to fight either he could still fight Demetrius Bivol if Arthur, I don't know what he's doing or whatever. He does have a bad knee. I'm pretty sure he's going to take a little bit of time off, and he has some decisions to make because he wanted to move up. So if he vacates those belts, that changes the whole landscape because now these belts are scattered. And I know David the Monster Benavidez, one of these organizations are going to want to put their belt around him. They're going to give him the number one shot. They're going to give Bivol probably a shot back at his belt. They're going to like a few of the top guys are going to start competing and fighting for these belts. So I don't know, maybe Yard might go for one. Who knows? Who knows? So it depends what Arthur does, whether he vacates or he stays. That's a big decision. That's a big decision because that's listen, that's everybody's future right there. When he holds, because now they're stuck with another Saul Canelo Alvarez. David the Monster Benavidez left one weight division to go to the other, and now all the belts are owned by one guy again. Yo, he can't win. He can't win. He can't go in a division where there's 4 belts and he can chase one at least, right? To become world champion and drop all this interim shit. Now all of a sudden him and David Morale are fighting for like interims and regular and secondary belts, and they're like proud of it because that's all that's in the division. It's like, yo, it must be like fucking living in the Twilight Zone for David the Monster Benavidez and Morale, right? Because no matter what division they go to, one guy got all the belts and they can't become world champion. And when you say, oh, they should do away with all these belts, they should only be one champion. This is the shit that happens because you can basically say there's only one belt in their division, right? Because Arthur has all the belts. One belt, one guy. You can only see one guy. So what happens to all your superstars that we know are world champions, that should be world champions? That's why they came up with 4 belts. So when guys are doing this shit, going on vacation, going back to a knee surgery, I'm having another baby type shit, there are other ways you could become world champion. And it was good and it was working at one time until the sanctioning bodies got greedy. They got greedy. That's it. It's all about money. They started pumping out these secondary belts, interims, regulars, North Pacific, regional, South Pacific, you know what I'm saying? Your neighborhood corner champion. Yo, they were just coming out with all these kinds of belts. And when you got those belts, guess what? You pay sanctioning fees to that organization for that secondary belt, interim belt. You do pay money to it. So the organizations got greedy and they fucked up a good thing. That's what happened. Had they just kept it, at least the 4 belts, well, then I could respect the 4 champions because there's so many men and women competing. There are hundreds and thousands of people in just one weight division for there only to be just one belt. That creates a problem. For 1,200 fighters in your division, and there's only one belt, they weren't making money. You could only make money off one champion. So the idea that they came up with the 3-belt era. Remember the 3-belt era? The Mike Tysons, the Sugar Ray Leonard, all them 3-belt era, the kings. And they saw that there was a market because now you had 3 champions, you had multiple guys fighting in different organizations, different rankings, and shit was moving along. And then it started becoming, wait a minute, we believe my champion is better than your champion. So the WBC said, yo, IBF, your champion's a bum. And the IBF said, well, then let's settle this in the ring. Then that's when we started getting unifications. Then some organizations hated unifications. Oh, they hated them, right? Marvelous Hagler fought for the WBO. And he was what? the IBF and the WBA champion of the world. Because he fought for the WBO, they stripped him of his belts. They said, we don't want our belt raised up in the same ring with that organization because it wasn't a major sanctioning body at that time. It wasn't recognized as a world champion. If you had this belt back then, before 2014, if you had it like 2012, 2013, 2011, it wasn't a world title then. It wasn't considered a world title. No. And then officially we came into a 4-belt era. And in the 4-belt era, I believe there's like 10 men that have unified all 4 belts because Usyk just did it. So we have to count him now in the equation. I believe there was 9 in a 4-belt era, and Usyk came in the building, right? So he got it. Oh, shit. And then Arthur Benavidez, there's 11. So there's going to be 11 men that unified all 4 belts in a 4-belt era. If it was 15 rounds, yo, them 15-round fights, oh, Arthur would have killed him. Yeah. I think Demetrius Bivol gave him everything, you know what I'm saying, that he had in the ring. I believe Arthur Benavidez, uh, look, I really think he came in there with a bad wheel. I'm not convinced that his knee was 100%. Maybe in the next fight, somebody's going to sleep. Just like I was talking about that Jose Valenzuela with Isa Pipo Cruz with Subriel Matias. And if you go back into the interview, look at my hand as I was going, like he was talking. Because I was thinking the same thing. I was saying, Jose might sleep Isa Pitbull Cruz the next time they fight. I think he's gonna stop him. I really do. I think he's gonna stop him. So I said to myself, it's one thing when you're coming into a fight and you've never been in the ring or shared the ring with that fighter. It's another thing when you shared the ring with that fighter and you know what he brings, or more or less. You're like, and you're even that much more confident. Sometimes that can play against you. Sometimes that can play for you. You just got to stay within yourself and know how strong you are and how strong he is versus you. You're gonna come out. Typically in the first round, everybody does feel strong. You settle out. You settle in the fight. Sometimes some fighters have gotten caught cold. Isa Pitbull Cruz is sometimes somewhat of a slow starter. And the one thing you can rely on Isa Pitbull Cruz, yo, I'll bet it 500. He's not gonna throw a jab. He's not gonna throw a jab. So, it's typically the low like Mike Tyson is, where that Eastside bobs and weaves and comes in with the hooks. He's pretty sneaky with it. He'll lull you thinking he's gonna go throw this one and shift it. So he knows he's real good. He's mastered his little style for as far as his talent can take him. Had he been a little bit more talented or more gifted in mobility, he would do more. I think he's fighting at the best of his ability. He could bring that fighting style up a few notches. Yes, he could perfect it even more, but that's what kind of fighter he is. And that also got me thinking about another fighter in particular, Errol Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is in a lot of trouble. He's in a lot of problems right now. He's really not trying to let this fish, so to speak, the big shark, on the hook with Sebastian Fundora. But I think he's tying up Sebastian Fundora. And although I think Errol Spence Jr.'s heart is really into it, I really think that he wants to fight. I'm not sure if his body's responding. I think those accidents, 2 detached retinas, it'll play a toll on anyone. And I think that Errol's a warrior. I think he's a warrior and he really wants to fight, because he's like not going away. Maybe his body's not responding. Maybe Errol got to listen to his body, and maybe hang up the gloves. It would be sad to see him go. He was such an exciting fighter for me, Errol. Oh man, like the moments he gave me in fighting, man, dude, like man. But unfortunately, this is what happened. And am I gonna keep wanting him to destroying his body anymore just to give me one more night of satisfaction? No, Errol. Go into boxing promoter. Um, you know, transcend transcend yourself in the sport of boxing, and maybe do some commentating or something. Do something else. Give back in a different way. Be a coach. I don't know, but Errol for me, he doesn't he doesn't even look good in appearance today. He don't even look good to me. Yeah. And I just don't want him to go out there and even damage his record any more than what he has to. As of right now, he's probably going to go down as one of the longest reigning welterweight champions in boxing history. And even though, his reign is going to be scrutinized, they're going to look at, wait a minute, you didn't fight for almost 2 years right here, and you didn't fight for this long, and you held the belts hostage for this. Yeah. Even though the thing is that they would have to acknowledge him, as the champion. And even though he went into the Terrence Crawford fight as an unranked fighter, he was an inactive fighter. They didn't have him on the ranking system. He was out of boxing too long. They take you out. It's the same situation he's dealing with right now with Sebastian Fundora because the WBO doesn't want to sanction the fight with Errol Spence Jr. No, they don't. Why? Because Errol Spence Jr. doesn't have a ranking. He's been inactive too long. And when you're inactive in boxing, they pull you off the all rankings. He's not even ranked at 154. So the WBO is not going along with it. As soon as if they was to schedule that fight, guess what? They're going to strip Sebastian Fedorov of the WBO world title, and they're going to elevate Terrence Crawford on that same night. Because if they gave him the option, this much I do know, and I'm just putting this all together, right? He's got to fight somebody in the top 15 to please the WBO. Errol Spence Jr. is not in the top 15. His name might be in the top 15. His name. Yeah, Errol Spence Jr., his name. But he has no ranking. So by doing so, officially, the WBO will be forced to strip him. And Terrence Crawford is going to be elevated because of the argument that Terrence Crawford's bringing to the WBO. The WBO's hands will actually be tied. They'll have no choice but to strip him. Sebastian's going to make it impossible because Errol can't compete for the belt. And if Sebastian Fedorov was smart, right? If Sebastian Fedorov was smart, I would still avoid fighting Terrence Crawford, and I'd rather fight somebody in the top 15, hopefully beat them and still keep my 2 belts. But at least I got a title defense on it. My reign was longer. I go in a training camp. My next fight is definitely going to be Terrence Crawford probably, but I've had my belt for a little long. So if I would have heard those magical words, fight someone in the top 15. Did you just say I don't have to fight Terrence Crawford? Anyone in the top 15? Let me see. Yeah, you. Let's go. Yo, you see what I'm saying? But he can't fight Errol Spence Jr. and keep that belt. Is Errol Spence Jr. fight worth that belt to you, Sebastian Fedorov? How much money are they going to pay you to fight Errol? How much is that belt worth to vacate? Because as right now, you stand to win, keep both belts, defend them, and then get the biggest money fight of your career against Terrence Crawford. I'll take that road. Give me a little bit more time of fighting, trying to adjust as Sebastian Fedorov is trying to learn how to fight out from the outside. He's just trying to like turn a different, they're trying to turn him into a different fighter. because of his attributes. And I agree. Okay. So with the more fights that he gets, the better prepared he would be against such a fighter as Terrence Crawford. But putting him against Terrence Crawford on your first title defense, I was like, shit. I was like, damn. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. No laugh zone, Goofy. Yo, what's up, guys? You guys is crazy. Well, maybe. Yo, y'all crazy. Nah, but yeah, man. You know, there's a lot of good things. A lot of good fights coming up. Of course, Tim Zoo. You know, um, what do you guys think about that fight? What do you guys think about the Tim Zoo card? The fighters that are on it. We could talk more about that too as well. Um, because a lot of these other situations in boxing are not going to change. Tank Davis is going to fight Lamont Roach. That's the fight we're getting. That's the fight we're getting. You know, I like the activity. I'll take the fight. I'll take the fight. And let's see what happens with Tank after this with Loma and the rest of them. Zapata. There's a lot of big names there. I'm pretty sure Zapata could fight any of the champions right about now. I don't know why he's not fighting the champions, but he's choosing to take another Mickey Mouse fight rather than hopping in the ring with one of these champions right now. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, wouldn't Zapata be ready for on this? Hold up. Wait a minute. 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 Whoa, wait a minute. Okay. Let me check this out. 1 second here. Let me do the math. All right. Javante Davis, 30 and 28, 30 fights, 28 knockouts, 93% knockout ratio, 5'5" and a half, 29 years old, southpaw. Okay. All right. So December 14th. I thought the fight was in November. Okay, so it's December 14th. So William Cepeda is fighting in November on that Mexican card in Saudi Arabia. November, December. Why couldn't he fight Tank Davis for the December date? What was the problem? If Lamont Roach is fighting Tank Davis 2024 December 14th, that's a scheduled date. It's in the Tokyo Center in Houston, Texas, right? That's where they're fighting. The date's right here, right? That's my question. My question was, why is William Cepeda, right? Why is William Cepeda fighting uh wait a minute. Just give me a second. Okay. William Cepeda, 31, 27 knockouts, no losses, 28 years old, 5'9", 69-inch arm reach, 87% knockout ratio, and he's a southpaw. Okay. William Cepeda is fighting 11-16. He's fighting in the Raja season. He's fighting Trevor Farmer's 33 and 33 is 6 losses. Let's see. Oh yeah, I know Trevor Farmer. I know exactly who he is. 11-16. You see, that's that bullshit, bro. Then he's fighting this guy that is he has 33 fights, 6 losses. Out of the 6 losses, he got knocked out twice, and he only has 8 knockouts out of the 33 fights. He has a 24% knockout ratio. No wonder he's fighting him. He's 34 years old. He's 5'6". He's a southpaw, and he has a 67-inch arm reach. Uh, and he's coming off of a loss against Raymond. He's coming off of a loss that he got stopped. Unanimous decision loss. They went 10 rounds. He's coming off of a loss. He's only knocked out 8 dudes out of the 31 fights, or 30, because box record on the top got 33 fights, and this says 31. Oh, William Cepeda got 31 fights. I'm sorry. So Farmer has 33 fights. He only got 8 knockouts out of the 33 fights, and he's got stopped 6 times. He's coming off. See, this is that bullshit right here. When you do your homework, bro, he's fighting man, listen. November 16th, they're fighting. Tank Davis is fighting December, what was it? December 14th? No, I'm not ready to fight Tank. I'm having a baby. As soon as I have my baby and I come off my vacation, I'm gonna be ready to fight. 1 month later, bro. These dudes is cowards, bro. How do you become the #1 guy across the board in every major sanctioning body and don't fight for the world championship? Come on, man. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Make it make sense, bro. And then we wonder why the best is not fighting the best and all this other dumb shit when you got it. The other guy can just say no. That's why you can't secure. A boxing does not run on a schedule, bro. It doesn't run on a schedule where the next guy up has to fight that guy. Like if you're the number 5, we got to fight. No, they give these guys the options to go on vacation, to say no, to say they're going to take another fight, to move, to fight a guy 3 weight divisions up. You don't have to fight your guy in your weight division anymore. In this day and era, you can fight at 140, right? But never fight in 140. It's like, this shit, man, listen. All right. So we know what Loma did. We know what Loma did. We know what this dude's doing. Shakur Stevenson broke his hand. We couldn't get that fight, and thank God we didn't get that, because I swear to goodness, if they would have announced Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson the minute he broke his hand, Shakur Stevenson's ducking him. He's faking the injury. A body shot breaks your hand? Come on, bro. You're a boxer. How are you going to hit it on the softest part of the body and break your hand? Do you know all the fucking documentaries they would have made on Shakur Stevenson throwing that punch, and they would have been like, look, he even bends his knee and complains before the punch even lands. Look at the footage. He was already anticipating it for it to break. Bro, they would have came up with so much fucking, that's why I'm glad they never even, because Shakur would have been fucking roasted for this. For really actually breaking his hand, right? But had it been scheduled against Tank, bro, we would have, unless his hand fell completely off, we wouldn't want to hear that shit. Man, nah, I know you lying. I know you lying. You talk about you broke your hand. I know you lying. Unless your hand falls off, the fight continue. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Shakur would have been in some shit. Thank God they didn't schedule it. He breaks his hand. The truth, he broke his hand, bro. Shit happens in a sport that you constantly punching shit. Eventually, your hand might give out. All right? So, and then what? Keyshawn Davis, okay, I'm going to keep him out the conversation. I know the young man's a young eagle. I know he'll go running out into battle into that barrage of bullets type dude, He's just not ready. He's just not ready for Tank. Leave. I need my Keyshawn to develop a little bit more before you go in there with a man such as Tank. So Raymond, or who would you guys had liked him to fight? That's the problem. Edwin De Los Santos was a name that was thrown around. I doubt it, though. I doubt it. The minute they would have announced Edwin De Los Santos versus Tank Davis, bro, they would have been like, oh, is he beating Shakur Stevenson's leftovers? Shakur Stevenson beat him with one hand. Shakur Stevenson broke his hand in that fight and beat Edwin De Los Santos, and now he's fighting against Davis? Yo, they would have never, no matter, you can't please these people, bro. I swear to goodness, you can't, right? You can't bring them enough blood. You can't. Tank Davis needs to fight two fighters on the same night. Put one in one corner, one in the other. Knock out one dude. Are you entertained? No. Knock out the other dude. How about now? Like, he's like, we can't. It's some shit, man, to please these fans, bro, because Tank Davis actually, right, his situation was so freaking clear that I thought no one was going to actually come back and say anything about it. Not about him fighting Lamont Roach. I didn't think anybody, and the fact that he's giving another brother an opportunity and putting money in his pocket as one brother giving another brother a fucking job too, type shit. You know what I'm saying? If we going to compete, well, then I'm going to help out one of my dudes. When Tank was criticized for not fighting black fighters. Bro, he fights two black fighters back to back and they give him shit. Y'all can't believe it. I was like, he can't even help out another brother without them giving him some shit. So now you want him to take the money out of, helping out another brother, right? And put it in a Dominican dude, Edwin De Los Santos' pocket? Would that make you happy? Like, none of these fights was going to make us happy unless the fight we wanted, which was the Shakur fight. He broke his hand. Loma walked away. Barichek, where the fuck is he? You know what I'm saying? Like, the writing was on the wall with my man, Tank. And they still found the way to say, Tank, you're a bit, you know what I'm saying? You ain't giving us the best fight. It's all his fault. It's all his fault because he can't get these guys to say yes. So now it's Tank's fault. Of course it is. Who else's fault is it going to be? Blame it on the Tank. Yeah. Anything go wrong in my life, I'm going to be like, it's fucking Tank Davis' fault. From now on. Yeah, bro. I stubbed my toe. Fucking Tank Davis, bro. He did that. You know what I'm saying? It's just that, man, I was like, damn, bro. Tank can't do no right, huh? He can't do no right. I was like, shit. So, these are some of the situations that these fighters are finding themselves in. And it's true, man. We do, this has been a big problem in boxing. This is not just happening now. I believe this is one of the reasons why I stopped watching boxing like 15 years ago. Then I came back when all this talent started flooding in, and I started recognizing, I was, wait a minute, we're in an interesting time here in boxing. I started watching some of these boys fight, and I started coming back to boxing. At first, I'll keep it real with you. I started going towards the UFC, and then that shit went to a shit show, and back to boxing, you know what I mean? But the Abdullah Masons, the Naoya Inoues, the Tank Crawfords, the Tank Davises, that's what brought me back. Shit. Even the excitement of the Charlo twins, two twin brothers, identical twin brothers, both champions and shit. Shit, the storyline alone was like bringing me back. We were in a real interesting time. Teofimo Lopez was doing backflips in the ring. And you had Loma being called the Matrix, moving around the whole ring like, hang, 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 hang. You had this freak of nature, Tyson Fury, that was 6'9", moving like a cruiserweight, just bouncing around the ropes and everything, smiling at his opponent. You had this Adonis in Anthony Joshua that he was a heavyweight with abs. Like, when's the last time you saw a heavyweight with abs? He looked like you made him in a lab. These fighters that were coming out, I was like, holy, like, shit. And with knockout after knockout, boom, boom, boom. Fight after fight, I started slowly coming back to boxing. But and then when I came back to boxing, that I realized what was they were trying to control and predict a fighter. They were trying to make one, like similar like Saul Canelo Alvarez's situation. They wanted to make the next Mexican great fighter. And by doing so, in order for Saul Canelo Alvarez to be great, he had to take a loss. In fact, he wanted to beat Floyd and take the torch from Floyd. Floyd had to beat him and hand him the torch. At the end of the fight, Floyd Mayweather gave his blessing to Saul Canelo Alvarez, and that's what set him on his star status. Before the Mayweather fight, Saul Canelo Alvarez didn't make no pay-per-view, no. That was his biggest fight, and he lost it. In order for him to be successful, he had to take a loss. Yeah. So they were trying to make the next one. The problem is that they had a real one in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Yo, the man can fight. The man can fight. The fact that they choose you in these situations, you got to also be able to fight. You might not have to be the greatest fighter or have the complete style, but you got to be able to win. For them to try to like move you along throughout the ranking systems and stuff and so forth and so forth. So that's kind of like what they wanted to do when they wanted to make certain fighters. And what they do is they do these things and they dress them up. Sometimes it can hurt your guy because the people will hang you out to dry, So yeah, he's being saved for Keyshawn Davis. I believe so. That's the rumor. That's the rumor. That's how they're gonna get Keyshawn Davis to become a world champion, or who's gonna give Keyshawn Davis his first crack at a world title is gonna be, top Bob Arum. Yo, when you fucking with the Godfather, bro, you gotta knock those top ranked fighters out. I swear to you, you gotta knock them out. If Bob Arum likes you, and no Diddy. He loves himself some Keyshawn Davis, Bob Arum. He likes Keyshawn Davis. He got mad at him for a little while. I think it was because of the weed thing or whatever. He got bagged twice for weed. He got one fight canceled, right? And one fight got a no contest. So that's taking money out your pocket for fights that you could have been fighting on cards and shit, right? So, then I was like, okay, cool. So that's gonna fuck up shit with your money. Your boxing promoter's not gonna make them happy. But um, I think that that's where that fight's gonna come. You're right. From what I've been hearing, it's gonna go after this fight. Keyshawn Davis was supposed to fight him, but now also also, was another rumor I heard just before William Cepeda took that fight, that I heard that William Cepeda was also supposed to fight him as well, and that they had a handshake agreement. So William Cepeda, after this fight, was supposed to fight Bradchek for that belt. It's from what I was hearing, but they'll probably make it an easier in-house fight where Bob can control everything rather than you're gonna have to go across the pond and fuck with Oscar De La Hoya because Zepeda's a golden boy fighter, right? So then he would have to bring him in. So it would make more sense to keep it an in-house fight rather than to cross the pond and have to fuck with Oscar. Even though Oscar and Top Rank right now are kind of like in this little thing with Ed Hearn and the Saudi Prince, and they're asking the Saudi Prince for all the money to put up all the fights. So, we'll see. But I did hear a rumor about that too as well, that Cepeda was supposed to fight him next. Yeah. On Saul, on Matias's fight card, it's just gonna be a bunch of Puerto Ricans fighting a bunch of Mexicans again. They're gonna run it back because, like I said, the Mexicans wants to get some get back out of that fucking shit show. We swept them. All our young top prospects beat all their Mexican fighters that night. We swept them. I think we beat them like 6 fights. And I didn't get to see any of the prelims. You guys were texting me and telling me about it. So I wasn't 100% if the rest of those fights, but from the fights that I saw, and we were watching together, that we were on the live together, that we were watching, Puerto Rico swept them. We won every fight, didn't we? So now they're doing it again. You know what I'm saying? They're doing it again. They're putting it on Matia's card. If you notice or look up Subriel Matias's fight, November 9th, right? You're going to notice that it's going to be a bunch of Puerto Ricans against a bunch of Mexicans. Watch. Go check it out. Yeah, so I mean, in a good world, you got it right there. In a good world. But how many times has Zepeda turned down the Shakur fight? It's been offered to him multiple times. And this is public knowledge. Zepeda didn't deny this. He didn't deny it. Shakur was all over. You know how Shakur is in his mouth. He can't wait to say that somebody denied the fight. He was all over X. Zepeda denied the fight. Like, yo. So, like, okay, I understand Oscar said he wasn't ready for him that far back when the initial one was sent. And Oscar came out. He said he's not ready for him right now. Give him some time. He'll fight him. Blah, blah, blah. All right. How much more time do you need? You're the number one across the board. That's it. It's time to step up. Take the training wheels off. It seems like Oscar De La Hoya has a lot of his fighters like that. And it's not Oscar De La Hoya's style. Oscar De La Hoya does not get down like that. Oscar De La Hoya is the type of man that fights the best, fighting the best type fighter. So Oscar doesn't understand why Ortiz is doing this, why William Cepeda is doing this. He be putting them out there. Oscar, he'll back his fighters up, but sometimes he'll get pissed at them. And he'll stand next to him and say, yo, don't you want to fight this guy? Let's make the fight happen. And then they'll be like, yeah. And then all of a sudden the fight's not happening. And I don't think it's because of Oscar's side, because if Oscar, promotes these fights, that's more money, more money, more money. You don't want to hurt your fighter. You want to keep the value of your fighter up. Yeah, I get all of that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But come on, how long are you going to have Victor Ortiz like that? He gets dropped 2 times in his last fight and still pulls off the victory. Like, geez, I thought your fighter was getting better, not getting worse, Oscar. And for some reason, you guys want to convince yourself what? That he really wanted to fight Terrence Crawford? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It's not happening. What's up, my man? How you doing? What's up, chat family? Everybody in the chat, salute. Thank you for joining the live stream. Don't forget to give that thumbs up button a little, you know what I mean? Hit it off, you know? For some reason, I feel like I should say no Diddy right there. The world got me like that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be careful nowadays. You know, you got to say no. I mean, you know what I mean? But yes, yep. We got a lot of big fights, a lot of this Tim Zoo fight, this is not an easy fight for Tim Zoo at all. You know, I'm gonna tune in. We're gonna tune in. We're gonna put the Notre Dame's belt on the line on the Tim Zoo fight. You know it's going on the line. All right. Yo, Chris what time is the Chris Colbert fight? What time is it right now? 6? Where's Pro Box at? Let's put some Pro Box up. They might be fighting for all I know right now. Chris Colbert, man, he did this to himself. When shit talking goes wrong, type shit, and you go in there and they're expecting you to back up what you say. Now you ended up on Pro Box. Yo, damn, Chris, man. What can you say, bro? What can you say? Well, it definitely hasn't started yet. So, wait a minute. What's this? Wednesday night fight? Oh, that was that card. Where usually they have it up advertising. Oh, right here. October 16th, Wednesday. Yes, today. Yeah, it is. Chris Colbert, 16-2 and 6 KOs will take on Omar, 19-1 and 13 knockouts in a 10-round lightweight bout on October 16th. So, yep. Let's see here. Lightweight, 135. He's not going back down to the super featherweight to 130 where he belongs. I don't think he belongs at 135. He's gonna want to stay stubborn and try to not want to exercise. Hold on 1 second, fellas. Yeah, so I think that's where he's gonna go. He's gonna go down. Hey, by the way, guys. Mm, by the way, y'all notice the new lights? Yeah, I had to get rid of those other one. That thing snapped. Now we got the new. Yo, we could turn that into bam. It'd be like red on red and shit right there. Look, the remote is huge. They say I could put these lights to the mic on the app. I just haven't connected the app yet. And when I talk, it'll go off my voice and shit. I was gonna check out that feature too. Uh, there's a few things it does here. I'm not really familiar with what it shit it does. Oh shit! That pressed the feature on my deck. The stream. All right, cool. You see that? We be pressing buttons and shit. All right, let's just hit it with the blue. What you say here, buddy? Well, what's up? All right, how you doing, brother? In the building. Well, the thing with the purse bid and the Naoya Inoue situation, right? All right. Um, uh, I find it's just another way to try to get Sam Goodman out of the fight. To be honest, I believe that sometimes some of these boxing promoters may get a little greedy. I'm not in the room, and I cannot definitively say what actually is taking place. I could speculate, I have an opinion or an idea, but I also do my investigation, right? Whenever I saw Sam Goodman enter the ring in Japan and challenge Naoya Inoue, the funny thing, the way he challenged him was, right, is that it seemed like the entire fight he was sitting there thinking about what he was going to say, right? And he was gonna get in the ring, and they were like egging him on and shit. This is say what you say like this. Say it with your chest. Poke out your chest and say it with your chest, right? So he gets into the ring, and Naoya Inoue said to him, "Yo, you didn't fly all the way over here to just sit here. You're in the ring. So guess what? If you're walking in this ring asking me to fight you, guess what? The answer is yes. I'll fight you in 6 months." And they put the mic in Sam Goodman's face, and he quickly goes, "Vacate the belts or fight me. I've been the mandatory for over a year. Fight me." And like, dude, he already said he would. Why did you just say that? You already got your answer. What do you mean you're threatening him? Vacate the belt. No, he just said he wanted to fight you. So you could see that he already had something in his head. He was there to say something. He flew all that way, and he wasn't going to be stopped. What did he do after that? He called Naoya Inoue's team and told them he would not be ready for that date. That in fact, he wanted to fight another fight before fighting Naoya Inoue. And I was like, wait a minute. When you jumped in the ring, you didn't say to him, "Hey, I want to fight one more fight, and then I want to fight you." That's not what you said. When you jumped in the ring, you said, "I want to fight you, vacate the belt. You're ducking me. I'm the mandatory. I'm the next person in line. You should fight me." That's what you said. But what'd you do? Then you go and you break your hand and you make a report about it immediately after the fight. "Oh, I broke my hand. Oh, as a matter of fact, I broke both hands. I fractured this one," right? Then all of a sudden, when's the last time you seen Naoya Inoue's fight go to a purse bid? The purse bid means that the two top negotiators couldn't come to an agreement on what to bid for the fight. The sanctioning bodies gave them a deadline. They couldn't come up to an agreement. The fight goes to a purse bid. But that doesn't mean that the two promoters that were actually bidding on the fight can't bid on the fight, because they are. They're going to bid on it. It's whoever wins the purse bid is going to control the fight now. Now they're promoting the fight. Now they're picking the venue. Now they're getting the money from, because they're putting up the money, whoever wins the purse bid. So you don't want your fight to go to a purse bid. Sometimes it works out good for you, because in all purse, the reason why fights go to a purse bid are not all the same. No, like for Devin Haney's situation, his fight went to a purse bid, and fucking Bob Arum walked up, or who was it? Yeah, I think it was Bob Arum. He's the only person that bidded on it. Walked up and bought the fight for the low. Bam, he won. And that's when a purse bid worked in your favor, because the fighter we were asking for way too much money, and you told the fighter, "You ain't worth that much money. I'm not putting that up. See if anybody else will put it up. Let the fight go to a purse bid." They walk away, come back, get the fight for the low. Yeah. So different tactics, different reasons why the fight went to a purse bid. It could be Sam Goodman is pricing himself out. Another scenario of a guy that really didn't want to fight Naoya Inoue. Sam Goodman doesn't know what it's like to lose. As of right now, with that undefeated record, in his mind, it's just as good as a belt. Being undefeated is just as good as having a world title in his head. When he walks down the street in Australia out there that nobody knows who the fuck he is anyway, he wants to pretend like everybody knows who he is. So he goes around his small circles where they do know, in fact, who he is. And he has this selected group of people. They all cheer for him. Around them, he's the man. I don't think he's higher than Tim Tszyu out there in Australia. But if you ask Sam Goodman, he's the most popular Australian fighter right now. He's the only fighter they have. It's him. If you ask him, that's where his head's at, right? And I don't believe a man that's he comes off real like arrogant, self-centered and shit. And when those kind of men are confronted with real men, they typically run away. They're good fighters. They're good for their style, for their level. But they're smart enough to know I'm not getting in the ring with that dude. And when you start to see stupid bullshit like this unfold with Naoya Inoue, and now out of all the fighters you've ever heard of, seen go in the ring versus Naoya Inoue, has there ever been a situation where that his fight went to a purse bid? Ever in any of his fights? I'll wait. All of a sudden, between Sam Goodman and MJ, bro, it's the biggest fucking hassle to get these two dudes in the ring. I can't believe how hard and how difficult these guys are pretending. Like, listen, Naoya Inoue is not running from no one. Not unifying all four belts in two separate weight divisions in both your weight divisions. There's only one king in his weight division. There is no way on God's green earth anyone can convince me that this is Naoya Inoue's fault. That Naoya Inoue, for some reason, is avoiding Marlon Tapales' style that, in fact, lost his belt to Marlon Tapales that he beat. Please make it make sense. Right? There's no way on God's green earth Naoya Inoue is scared 1% of fucking Sam Goodman. Naoya Inoue beat better fighters than Sam Goodman on the way to the fight. So what's the problem? What's the problem? And the problem is it's on their end. Because as far as Naoya Inoue, he's the greatest champion in two weight divisions. He's proven it. He's undefeated. He's knocked out all his last fighters. What the fuck more do you want him to do? Is there another level in boxing mysteriously that he can get to that will impress or please everyone? Please, please share in the comments. Tell me where this fucking level of boxing that he would have to get to for the people to say, you know what? He's pretty good. Shit. I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, this shit is fucking ridiculous, right? Because Sam Goodman is doing this. He's making a spectacle out of himself, if you really ask me. If you ask me, listen, it's not looking good for him. Every move he's made to the lottery fight in your division, bro, Naoya Inoue is the Tank Davis fight, is the Saul Canelo Alvarez fight, is the Alexander Usyk fight in your weight division. That's the money fight. What's the problem? What's the problem when perhaps taking a loss, but sharing the ring with perhaps one of the greatest fighters in boxing history, making the most money you would ever make? Take what you're risking a chance to lose? Does it mean that much to you? Are you that scared where that you really tried to wait out Naoya Inoue to see if he moved up to 126 pounds? Where you faked out him out by getting in the ring and then going fighting someone else, hoping he fought TJ Doheny and announced that he was moving up to 126. Now you just avoided him. By him not moving up, now Sam Goodman was like, fuck, now I got to fight him. And now all this shit is coming out. So I kind of like, I'm looking at this whole scenario and I'm saying to myself, bro, Naoya Inoue is the lottery fight in your division. You went in the ring beating your chest, talk about vacate belts, fight me. You were acting like you wanted to fight him right then and there. That's how you, with the energy you brought to the ring, and you still haven't made negotiations to fight him for a set date and time? If you ask me, that fight's not going to happen. Naoya Inoue is going to have to fight someone else in December, which is going to probably push Naoya Inoue's promotional company, Top Rank, to have a sit down with Naoya Inoue and ask him, we would like you to move up to 126. There's no one else here for you to fight. There's no big fight. Top Rank is not going to sell the MJ fight. Nah. Top Rank doesn't want to do business with Akmadalia's promotion company, that dude. They don't want to do business with him. I know that for a fact. I'm telling you guys that I mess around and have connection and affiliates with Top Rank. And I'm telling you right now, he doesn't want to do business with him no more because of not my words, of how much of a shitbag he is. Not my words. So, but yeah. So there's that if Sam Goodman does not fight him to close this out, who's gonna fight him in Vegas? Like the list of names are gonna get smaller. There's just nobody there right now. He kicked open the front door of the 122 and he beat the shit out of everybody. And I'm talking about he didn't just beat him, he beat the shit out of everybody. He brutalized everyone on his way through. You know, what does he got? 4 fights, 4 knockouts. So how is there another level that he has to get to? Does he I'm not going to even say it. I'm not even joking. I'm going to say it, but I mean, that's what people are acting like, you know? So yeah, man. So fight fans, listen guys, you guys have been amazing tonight. You guys got anything to say here? I watched Sam Goodman reaction to Inoue versus Doheny. He looked shocked to be yo, listen. Listen, he looks shook to be fair, right? I I saw that interview and I thought the same exact thing. I thought the same exact thing. You know, he's trying to be like confident. Oh, he's fighting my leftovers. Naoya Inoue was fighting his leftovers when you couldn't knock TJ Doheny out. In fact, no one has ever knocked TJ Doheny out except Naoya Inoue. But they won't give him credit for that. You see? Sam Goodman couldn't do it. He couldn't stop TJ Doheny. And in fact, that was a competitive fight. Tell me, when in the Naoya Inoue fight versus TJ Doheny, when was it ever competitive? I'll wait. TJ Doheny won rounds against Sam Goodman. What round, if any, did TJ Doheny win against Naoya Inoue? I don't think he won 10 seconds in the fight. But yet, Sam Goodman is trying to sell it to you like this dude is scared of him. Come on, you went to war with this dude, TJ Doheny, and Naoya Inoue legitimately almost killed him. He almost paralyzed the man in the ring. And you went to war with him. Come on, man. If you let Sam Goodman tell it, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Yo, these dudes think, yo, I see right through them. I see right through them. I'm just like, man, you got, come on, man. All of them. He's just destroying these dudes, and I'm on the side. He has nothing else to prove at 122. I don't control Naoya Inoue's career. I don't dictate when he feels like he's ready. Only he'll know when he needs to make that decision. We as fans, we want to see him go at 126 for so many different reasons, right? And I swear to goodness, today, if she doesn't give me this salt gun, I'm shooting all you guys. And I keep saying it. I left you guys in this room yesterday, and you guys are messing with me, you little flies. I'm gonna kill every one of you. You guys are marked for death. Yes, you're done, son. Flies, they say Edwin won't kill a fly. Oh yeah, these guys right here are going down, bro. They've been messing with me for 2 days already, 3 days. Bro, I'm getting strap seat. It's over. Y'all going down. Yo, listen, they've been driving me crazy. But yo, um, where was I? What was it we was talking about? Shit, fucking see, they messing with me. They know what they doing. They know exactly what they doing. They know when I stream live and they coming in and I leave the fucking window open and you think they would leave. No. They know exactly what they doing, little mother. Listen, I can see. Oh yeah, Sam Goodman. Yeah, a great promoter, a snake. Sam Goodman. Well, then he would be a great promoter then. Yeah, he might win. Yeah. Yeah. You see how he is? Like he's always like slithering his way through interviews, conversation, lying about this. He'd be a great promoter, boxing promoter. You're right. Yo, yo, straps. Yo, they done. I'm about to shoot all these flies. I'm about to load up my little salt gun. My girl don't want to give me the gun because I waste all the salt. I'll have the room all salty and shit. She says I left. We're gonna leave the window open for they can come in just to shoot them. And look, they back. They in my set. They riding on me right now. Yo, because they know I ain't got the toast right now. You know what I mean? That's okay. I stay ready like a hot and ready like a little C's pizza. And I watch when they done. They done. They done. He would be a good boxing promoter, bro. All right, guys. So I just wanted to tune in today, drop in, share some thoughts on the Subriel Matias interview too, as well. If you haven't seen it, I encourage you to go check it out. It's a good interview. I have another interview coming up tomorrow with Jermaine, the technician Ortiz. And on Friday, it looks like we're going to be securing another interview with Arthur Beneve, trainer. So he's going to be coming on the show. We're going to be talking to him. We're going to be talking to him about the Arthur fight. And I want to see what he thinks about the decision and where Arthur may be going from here and see if he can share some insight on the show for us for that. So those are two big interviews coming up this week, in fact. So please, if you haven't already, please hit that thumb like button for me. You know, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel to get all your boxing news. I'm just going to start locking down some of these interviews, and they come and uh, hopefully we lock down these interviews and they go on that schedule because um, uh, Jermaine, the technician Ortiz, has a fight scheduled for November 1st, but I just heard a little birdie told me that he lost his opponent. So they're scrambling to find him another opponent so we can get another name, so that it'll be certain. But He's still in the gym shooting for that date. So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow. And yeah, and so please, fight fans, tune in to check out these amazing interviews. And I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Fight family, you guys have been amazing.